everybody. Welcome to Extension Monthly. I'm Jennifer Davidson, the County Coordinator here in Russell County for Alabama Cooperative Extension. And today we are going to talk all about getting your child ready for learning. So I'm here with my friend Miss Gina Smith. She's with the Parents as Teachers program that is brand new to Russell County, and we are so excited to be able to offer that to moms and dads and families in our area. So Miss Gina, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So tell me a little bit about what is PAT?
PAT stands for Parents as Teachers. It's a program that's been around for over 25 years internationally, but it's new to this area.
Cool.
It is a program that was developed to recognize that parents are their children's first teacher, and that those few years that children spend at home, the parents are teaching them, and they're learning. Those are crucial moments of learning when we don't really sometimes think of that, but,
Sure.
but it is. It's a moment that kids should be engaged in things that help them develop and learn. And those are moments that really prepare them for kindergarten, and that preparation carries them all the way through school and life. And it's based on lots of research that has proven that these things that we can do as parents or caregivers at those ages are impactful, just very impactful.
Sure, they last a lifetime.
They last a lifetime, and it's proven. It's evidence-based.
Well, I should tell you, so my oldest is 12 years old, and 12 plus years ago, or I guess about 12 years ago, I was sort of a pilot family over in Columbus.
Yeah.
So we had a parent educator that came to my house, and the way that it worked was we had a scheduled time for her to come over, and she sat down with me, and we talked about milestones, and especially I was that was my first child, so I was a first time mom,
Right.
and you always kind of wonder, am I doing this right?
Absolutely.
Are we on track here?
Yeah.
And one of the things that I remember her showing us, and one of the lessons was about water play. And my little boys always loved the
Yes.
water, and how you can just let them, put a towel down
Right.
and let them play in the water while you're trying to cook dinner.
Right.
While they're pulling on your pants leg
Exactly.
after work.
Right.
And I've always remembered that, and I actually used it just this weekend. I have a 1-year-old nephew who came to the house. He's very much like my boy, very busy.
Right.
And so I kind of occupied him like that as
Yeah.
well.
Well, it's true. I mean, it's so much more than just, your thoughts of, making sure they learn to read, which is critical. But there's a lot of things that come before that step. And a lot of it is just based on play. And it doesn't, certainly there's a lot of toys that are created for play that you can go out and buy. But there's lots of things that you can just make at home. You can make your own water play types of toys. You can make types of things that develop motor skills, fine motor skills, gross motor skills, and you can just make it out of paper towel tubes and wadded up pieces of paper that they can, play with and drop in the hole, and so it's very simple things that are very important to that developmental process. And just like you said, it's you think you know everything. As adults, we think we got this down pat, and even as an older parent, like we talked about earlier, I had children as an older adult, and I thought I was pretty well equipped. But as I started learning things about the Parents as Teachers model, I realized there was a lot of things that could have helped me as a parent, as a 35-year-old mother, that I think would have been helpful for my children.
Yeah,
So
very
I think
good.
it's a good thing for everybody to know some of these things.
Well, if anybody's watching today and would like to get enrolled, tell us about the enrollment process, or if there's any requirements for moms. How does this work?
It's open, it's free, which is a pretty important aspect for a lot of people, but it's completely free. Everything that we do, everything we provide is provided based on from our program. It's open to anyone who would like to, who has children. It starts
What's the
from
age?
Yeah, it starts from, it could be even begin prenatally. So if a mother who is pregnant wants to kind of get some thoughts immediately about their child's birth and progress at that point, we can start there. And we go all the way through beginning kindergarten. So once they start school is when we, the services obviously would move to the school district. So we serve that group of people. And signing up is easy. You can just reach out to East Alabama Mental Health at 334 742-2112. And then the email is parentsaskteachers@eamhc.org.
And we'll put that information up for everybody. So if you know a family or if you are a person who might have a baby that would like to enroll in the Parents as Teachers program, just feel free to give them a call, an email. You could also call the extension office at 334-298-6845. We'd be happy to refer you on. And also I wanted to mention the other great thing was when I was enrolled in the program, books came my way.
We do.
So we got a free little give me
Yep.
book every time,
Yep.
and we enjoyed that, and I
Yeah.
still have those to this day.
Yeah,
So I want to thank y'all so much
Thank
for what you're
you.
doing for the babies of our county.
Thank you. I
We want to
appreciate
get
you
them
having
ready
me.
to learn,
Yeah.
so they can go on to be productive adults.
Yeah.
So
Thank
thanks,
you.
Gina, for
Thank
having
you.
for coming in.
Thanks.
And I've got with me today Miss Elaine Harper. She's going to talk to you a little bit about our nutrition education program. So thanks for being on, Miss Elaine.
You're quite welcome. Hello, my name is Elaine Harper, and I am an FNEP educator, which stands for Extended Food Nutrition Education Program. I deal with things like how to budget your money to make sure your food dollars last throughout the end of the month, how to read the food labels, and we have a lot of fun. We make a dish every time we come. All of my classes are free. I can have them at any time, at any place. I serve all of Russell County. I can come to your home, your church, your community center, or you can come to my office. My office phone number is 334-298-6845. Let's learn more about nutrition, get healthy, and get active.
Well, Miss Elaine, tell me this. So the first lesson or what's the name of the curriculum that you work off of?
One curriculum is called Eating Smart, Being Active.
And so tell me a little bit is it an hour a piece, or how does that work?
It's 1 hour, 1 day a week.
Okay.
And that class is to anyone, male, female, primarily the one who buys the groceries for the family.
Okay. And how do people enroll in the program again?
You can call me at my office at 334-298-6845, or you can email me at elaineharper@auburn.edu.
Very good. And then tell me one more thing about the pregnant mom program.
Yes, I have a program called Today's Mom, and of course it's geared directly toward women who are pregnant. I teach you how to eat healthy for you and your baby. I go through the whole process with you, and then I'm even with you after you have the baby to help you there. We talk about breastfeeding and all different topics.
Fun. Well, that sounds fun.
A lot of
And so
fun.
you have room for enrollment right now?
I have room for enrollment right now. All you
So-
have to do is give me a call.
If anybody knows anybody who might be interested, feel free to give our office a call. Miss Elaine, I want to thank you for being on today.
You're quite welcome.
Have a
Thank
good
you
one.
for having me.
And today I'm here with Dr. Sylvia Vilches. She is with Auburn University and Alabama Cooperative Extension. Her office is located on campus. And tell us a little bit about what do you do on campus?
Well, I do the things that an assistant professor does. I teach courses currently I'm teaching parenting education, and I work with extension agents all across Alabama to support them in developing educational programs.
Very good. So today at the library, we were talking about how to get your child ready for kindergarten. For those of us who had little children, that was kind of a scary time. I remember asking, thinking to myself, is my child ready to go to kindergarten?
Right.
And one of the big things is teaching them how to love reading. Yeah. And so talk to us a little bit about how to teach your child to read, or some of the big important things to help them read.
Yeah, so I think many parents are thinking ahead to school and what they can do to help their children be ready to start school. But one of the things that we talked about here today is the importance of play as being the first step in having imagination and helping young children's brains to develop so that they have the thinking that's necessary before they get to school. And then we talked a little bit about numeracy, and those are talking and introducing children to concepts like smaller and bigger and harder and softer. And if you can show them those things, those are pre-numeracy or pre-number, pre-math skills. And we talked a little bit too about letting them play with things around the house that might be natural, like sorting buttons or playing with Tupperware or things you have around that you use every day.
And so teaching your child the ABCs is super important, but
Yeah.
these are all concepts that kind of go before that, right? Is that
That's
what we're
right,
thinking?
that's right,
So
yeah.
we feel a lot of pressure to make sure my child knows the alphabet and can read before, but there are kind of steps before reading. And that's
Right.
what we're talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
So many parents think about school readiness as knowing the letters and being able to read a little bit. And that's important to be able to recognize letters. But children, when they're 3 or 4 years old, they can memorize those things, but they don't actually have the brain capacity yet to really put the letters together and see a new word and sound it out. That skill comes around the kindergarten age. That's when the brain is developed enough to be able to do that. So prior to that, what you want to do is introduce them to the concepts of words and to the actions that go with reading, and to help them have confidence when they see a book.
So you were saying it's super important to, even when they're, I think you said infancy, like in infant time. So toddlerhood, you know, is fine to start if you haven't started already, but you really ought to start when they're babies, or even before they're babies, before they're...
Any time is a good time to start, right. A national organization
Did a parenting survey and discovered that parents really don't understand how early children can begin to learn to read, and it's the reading skills of going back and forth and seeing the book that starts in infancy. So you can introduce a board book, and you can turn the pages, and turning the pages introduces a little infant to the fact that this is the way we use books, that you turn a page and you see words on it, the parent reads a little bit, and the infant begins to understand that process of back and forth. That's the very first step of introducing reading.
And even that you were saying that, you know, we read from left to right in
Yes.
our culture. And so I think flipping the book and then showing where you're reading kind of can help them too.
Yes, exactly. So then they get comfortable with the books, and they begin to understand that stories come from those books. Whether they're songs, we were singing Old MacDonald Had a Farm here today, and they understand that you as an adult have this ability to tell a story that comes from the book, and that begins to engage them. And then we talked about some of the 5 important components of reading.
Very good. Very interesting. I know when my oldest was about to go into kindergarten, I had a master gardener volunteer that I was a kindergartner teacher for many, many years and retired. And I remember saying, what is the number one thing that my child needs, you know, to know before he goes to kindergarten? She said, how to get along with others.
Yeah, exactly.
Social emotional development, I think, was high on her list too.
Yeah, right. And that,
We talked a little bit about the importance of imagination and allowing children to pretend. So when they pretend that they're the mom, or they pretend that, you know, they're the school teacher and they're going to organize the other kids, that's them putting themselves in another person's shoes and beginning to understand what relationships are about.
Very interesting.
So, really important.
So another challenge that modern parents have today is screens, tablets, TVs, cell phones, everything. And there are, you know, small babies that know how to push the buttons to get the screen to move. So talk to us a little bit about what we know about screen time for kids now.
Sure. Everybody, it seems, has a screen these days. So what the early research is starting to show is that if you have a screen and you use it like a book, like you scroll and then you read a story and it has pictures, and you're still doing that same thing that you do with a book, you can do that after the age of 2.
Okay.
So the American Pediatric Association is now recommending no screen time before the age of 2.
No screen time for the
Zero.
before the age of 2. Okay.
yes. So
That's kind of a take-home point for
it
all of
is.
us.
Now, it's a question of degree, right? So you want to think about the quantity of screen time that any child is getting. But if they're getting 80% screen time, you are actually robbing them of the opportunity to engage in play and imagination. So every time you have that screen time, you think, am I denying them the opportunity to play, to develop their imaginations, and to interact and learn those social emotional skills? It's not going to kill somebody to have a couple hours a week.
Okay.
But the recommendation is 0.
Especially
For
before
under
the age of
2.
2.
Yeah, that's right.
That's very important. And so did we go over all of the 5 sort of key
parts.
components? Okay.
Those. Yeah.
So there are some important elements of reading, and I think that they are interesting to talk about because they're beyond just reading the words on the page. So you want to invite children to engage with the story, and that starts with you beginning to ask them questions about it. So you can ask them, what do you think about this character? Do you think Little Red Riding Hood was scared in the woods? And when you're doing that, you're inviting them to have the imagination to interact with the character. You can ask them also to finish sentences. So once children know those books better, we talked a little bit here today about the fact that older children will interrupt you if you try and skip a piece of the story. But you can also let them complete a sentence or invite them to participate in the story. So Old MacDonald said, what? E-I-E-I-O, right? You can ask them to think about the characters. You can ask them also to think about the storyline. What happened in this story? Where is Red Riding Hood going? Why is she going there? And that begins to build the process of comprehension. The other 2 points about reading are that you can point to the words and the pictures, and then children can understand that those pictures mean something. We talked a little bit about children making up stories about those pictures, and you can allow them to do that. That's part of reading too, when they understand that they can tell a story from the book. So they memorize the story you're telling, but they can look at the pictures and tell a story too. And then the final thing is to invite them to relate the story to their life. So you're reading about a dog that's barking, then you say, do we have a dog? Does our dog bark? And that child takes that story right into them and imagines it as it is in their life. And that helps them own the process of reading. Later, they will learn letters and they will put all those pieces together, but not till they're maybe 5, maybe 6, maybe 4 for a very early child.
And you were also saying, try to get books that relate to your own life, right? And we found that in our family. It just sometimes happens naturally. We have several War Eagle Auburn books, and they talk about our traditions and things that we do. And so then I realized we had read those books. And then in the fall, when we were doing those traditions, some of my children would say, just like our book, and they would put that together. Vice versa, when they were reading the book, they'd say, oh, we did that.
Right.
And so that really relates it to your own family.
Yeah, and that helps you understand that a book is not a scary thing. It's not something where you're going to get, where you're going to fail because you don't understand the letters. A book is something that has a story in it that's part of a relationship or an interaction that you have with your parents. So if your dad puts you to sleep by reading a story, then you begin to associate that with a really good feeling. Books are part of your life.
Yeah.
And that sets you up to be successful in school.
Well, very good. Well, thank you so much for being here, Dr. Vilches. We appreciate it. And if you have any questions about how to get your children ready for learning or ready for school, feel free to give the Extension office a call at 334-298-6845. We'd be happy to pass on some literature and information to you. And stay tuned. We'll be right back. Extension office, and I'm here with our regional agent, Miss Deborah Ward. And tell me your title again. It's really long.
I'm original extension educator, family child development.
Very good. Tell us a little bit about what you do in our area.
Well, I do all types of family programs, and it's from birth to death, really. We do caregivers program with seniors, and we also do early start program from Head Start, kindergarten, and all the way up to 12th grade, and just youth in general, parents, grandparents, relatives raising relatives, and we do a little bit with the kids and kids.
And so one of the things that you teach folks about or do your programs on is fatherhood and importance of fatherhood. So talk a little bit about that particular program.
Yes, I think Fatherhood Initiative 24/7, that program is a wonderful program because I think every dad should be a 24/7 dad. Children, that's the foundation. They need both parents in the home, in their life, even if they are parent together. They may not be in the home together, but they still have to parent together. And it is so important for that father to be in that child's life, the mother in that child's life, when they get ready to prepare them to go to school early.
So tell us a little bit about the program that you have called 24/7 Dad.
Okay, so the 24/7 Dad program is a program that we have that includes fathers. And this program in particular, we're looking for the fathers to be a dad 24/7, to be in that child's life because it's totally important for other fathers to be included in early start in their education and in their life in general.
Very good.
Yes.
And so, for someone to enroll in a program or to start a program, how many people need to be signed up, or how does that work?
Well, 5 is a group, but we want to reach every father that we can out there. But 5 is a group, and I mean, if we have a group of 5, we can do a program with them.
Okay, very good.
yes.
So if you know someone who might be interested in helping us coordinate a group here locally in the Russell County area, a church, a community center, a neighborhood, a group, just give us a call at the Russell County Extension Office. We're at 334-298-6845. We'd love to have a 24/7 dad class start here in Russell County. And so, Miss Deborah, I want to thank you so much for serving our county and helping keep our families healthy.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you next month.